Hey everybody, I'm Melissa Sorrentino, the Improv Sophisticate, here to talk to you about life and how it affects your improv on stage, as well as how all the stuff you're learning about improv and living out your improvised, unscripted life. So today I want to talk about something that I think is kind of a general, wonderful thing to learn as you go through life, as I've gone through life. This is something that I don't know if I would say I struggled with. I don't think I struggled per se, except to the extent that I didn't know how deeply this was affecting my life. Totally normal thing. I'm not going to go into terminology of psychology about it, but the idea of us all wanting to be liked and loved and admired and thought highly of by other people. Of course we do. I think it is total bullshit to call that like codependence per se when you go too far. Codependency is a whole thing. I'm not saying I don't believe in it. Of course I do. But it is not a flaw in us that we care what people think. It's not at all. We are pack animals and we are designed to give a shit about fitting in. It's important to us. If we didn't give a shit about sharing and we wouldn't do improv in the first place, right? We wouldn't have art, because what's the point of art except to share it? Okay, that's going too far. Quite frankly, if I was alone on a desert island, I would probably do even more art than I do now. I'd be all braiding leaves so they looked pretty in my hut. That's just me. I'm just fancy like that. Okay, not caring about being liked is a huge freedom, and that is why I recommend it. I think it is super helpful. Instead of looking at what we're doing and just labeling it wrong, I'm doing this wrong, I'm doing this wrong, I'm living my life wrong, I shouldn't care what other people think of me. All that does is brings up insecurity. All that does is makes us feel crappy about ourselves. I mean, how is that helpful? It is not. So instead of feeling crummy because you want people to like you, embrace that about yourself. Say, yeah, I absolutely want people to like me. But if they don't, I'm gonna be okay. That's the big news. You're gonna be okay. In my life, I had a period where I really isolated a lot. I still isolate a lot because I'm extremely social and I really give it my all when I go out, and I'm hanging with people, even if it's just for a cup of coffee, man. I leave it on the field, I leave my guts at Starbucks over a mug of delightful coffee. I do. And that's just the way I live my life. But then I have to go home and I have to recharge. Valuing my recharge as much as I value my expenditure, ooh, what a fancy word, is something that I think is a level of self-care that shows me, it shows my subconscious region, Melissa, you're gonna be taken care of. Melissa is going to take care of Melissa. Melissa who needs that recharge is going to have social Melissa dial it down, and give Melissa who needs a recharge some time. Now, I know it's a little bit weird to talk about myself in third person, but I do that on purpose as something I've learned. It helps me sometimes to objectify myself into various personas so that one persona doesn't take over and I don't end up being too compulsive in any certain area. I don't want to be a workaholic, but I don't want to be a restaholic. I don't want to be a people matter to me aholic, love addict, but on the other hand, I don't want to be some cold, asshole. And we polarize as extremists, especially in our country with our bipartisanness and our oh, I'm religious, oh, I'm not religious, oh, well, I'm spiritual, oh, well, that's bullshit. Even the religious people seem to diss the spiritual people because it's well, if you're spiritual but not religious, you must be evil. And the spiritual people are well, if you're religious, you must be evil because you've got something against spirituals. It's just my point. Polarization is just ridiculous, in my opinion. There's a continuum, and as long as we kind of stay, in a balance, yin and yang, I think that's important. Intelligence inside of our heads tells us certain things, but then our guts tell us different things. And when we are among people who are acting like assholes, it's important that we don't placate to those people. How good do you feel if you're pleasing people and the people you're pleasing are assholes? What does that make you? Does it make you an asshole pleaser? Are you going to actually parallel your behavior to things that assholes are comfortable with? While nice people who are just too polite to say anything just sit on the sidelines and wait for your friendship? This is a big deal, and this is something that I had to learn in my life. I wrote down on a piece of paper and I put it in my launch pad that I told you guys about that says this: stop trying to win the favor of your critics. Stop trying to win the favor of your critics. Critics are kind of dicks. Your critics are not the people that are going to be your fan base, your audience, your cheerleaders, your love fest, your friends, your warm happiness. That's not going to be full of your critics. People who are critical have a chip on their shoulder and you didn't put it there. And if they're not taking the effort to lift that chip off and love people, that is their problem. So stop trying to win the favor of your critics is a great quote for me. I used that mantra many, many times when I had to. Maybe for about a year and a half, almost daily, I would just say, I will not win the favor of my critics. I will not explain myself. I will not justify myself. I will not mitigate my behavior that I feel good about just to service some critic so they feel better about me. Of course, there are situations where you do need to compromise or maneuver or navigate a tough situation. If you have a boss that hates you, if you have, if you have to go to the DMV, there are certain things that we do to, we're not trying to make them like us, but we're just trying to get by. Now, my heart is kind of built and wired, luckily for me on one hand, but a curse for me on the other hand, that I usually will find a place of understanding with people. I genuinely think people are good, and I'm okay with the fact that they behave badly. I give people room to behave badly. I probably give them too much room to behave badly, but I also give myself room to behave badly. Somewhat. I mean, I know I'm annoying. I know I'm a jabberjaw when I get going, and I try to edit that, but I just, I've got to be who I am, and you've got to be who you are. So if you've got assholes that you're trying to please, I say stop winning the favor of those critics. And another thing, of course, just the old classic, ignore the haters. Now, I'm not saying antagonize the haters. I'm not even saying go, ooh, well, you're, running away from the bus because some jerk on the bus was, kicking the back of your seat. I'm saying ignore the haters. Ignore the haters. They mean nothing. They are nothing. Let them hate. Say, hey, that's cool. You can hate. I don't live my life in hate, and I'm the one that gets to be happy all the time. So the way I recommend to actually manage this, because you want to actively manage the letting go of making other people like you, making that a priority. Let go of that priority. Just be who you are. And the journey to getting to that for me is, one, is that I say more that is authentic to me. That's nervy. On occasion, I'll just be like, you know what? Instead of being silent to soothe the feelings of this person that's just going on and on and on about what they think is wrong with me, I will stand up for myself and I will say things. I try to say it peacefully. I try to say things in a respectful manner. I try to choose my words wisely so that I'm not, pouring gas on a fire, but rather dousing it with some peace and some love and some, goodwill. But I would really much rather choose to say things than always be a receiving garbage can for just crap. Now, there are also times, bullet point say things, bullet point not say things. There are plenty of times when I might feel a little something boiling up in me that wants to say something. And then I tell myself, you know what? I'm going to give myself the gift of not having to go there with this person. If they want to ask my opinion, I'll be happy to be truthful and honest. I will not lie to please people. That is a big one too. Third bullet point, don't lie. Now, I know I brought that up in the last video, and maybe some people are like, what are you calling me a liar? Like, who tries to lie? But honestly, if you are a people pleaser, you probably lie a lot. That is what's awesome about improv. You get to lie the whole time. You get to lie. You get to say, look, there is a vending machine filled with hot dogs and French fries, and then right here is a whatchamacallit bar. You could just, and it's true. My lies are true because it's improv. So, just open that guy up and pull a yummy hot dog out and, close the door. Whatever you want to do. You can put some, whatever Tabasco on your hot dog. Whatever you want to do. It's improv. Ooh, that's kind of hot. It's improv, so you can enjoy it. All right? Enjoy yourself, enjoy other people, but do not prioritize having other people like you. Stop trying to win the favor of your critics. Ignore the haters. Say things that are authentic to you and take that risk and get comfortable with that. Don't say things when you might be getting upset to give yourself the gift of peace when that's appropriate. Okay? Take care, you guys. Hang in there. Live your lives and enjoy them. That's what they're for. Love you. Bye.